In 1619, inside a locked cell in Pescia, Italy, a nun named Sister Benedetta Carlini screamed for the third night in a row. The priests told the other nuns it was a miracle. They said demons were being expelled. That was a lie. What I'm about to show you isn't folklore. It isn't exaggeration. These are documented facts pulled from Vatican and Inquisition archives, records that were sealed for centuries and only partially open to researchers in recent years. And what historians found inside them was so disturbing that multiple documentaries attempting to cover this subject were quietly blocked from major distribution. By the end of this video, you'll understand why. Between the 13th and 17th centuries, European convents were not spiritual sanctuaries. They were prisons. Imagine being a 14-year-old girl in Renaissance Italy. Your family can afford only one dowry. Your brother inherits everything. Your sister gets married. You get the convent. No appeal. No choice. Historical records show 50 to 70% of noble Italian girls were forced into convents, not because of faith, but because daughters were expensive and disposable. The church called it devotion. Families called it necessity. Inside those walls, women lost all legal rights. And then came something called visitation authority. Bishops and priests were granted unrestricted access to convents. They could enter at any time. Demand private meetings. Conduct spiritual examinations behind locked doors. No witnesses. No accountability. Confession, meant to cleanse the soul, became a trap. Young nuns were ordered to describe every impure thought, every dream, every physical sensation, in explicit detail, to male priests in total privacy. When Sister Benedetta reported visions of Christ, the clergy didn't question the system. They questioned her body. Inquisition transcripts describe repeated examinations to search for signs of possession, hands placed where no holy authority belonged. And if a nun resisted, she was labeled possessed. Isolation. Starvation. Punishment. The logic was airtight and cruel. Resistance proved guilt. Guilt justified further abuse. Benedetta endured this for 2 years. The church finally ruled that she was visited by both Christ and demons, a verdict that allowed the scrutiny to continue without admitting wrongdoing. But forced confession was only the beginning. In 1634, in Loudun, France, 17 nuns claimed possession. What followed exposed the system. Official trial records describe public exorcisms involving restraints, humiliation, and invasive rituals performed before crowds, all framed as holy work. One priest, Urbain Grandier, tried to expose the truth. He said the nuns were being drugged, sleep-deprived, tortured. For speaking out, he was burned alive for witchcraft. The message was clear. Silence, or die. This wasn't isolated. Documents reveal similar practices across 127 convents in France, Italy, Spain, and Austria. Same methods. Same approval. Same silence. One woman tried to record everything. Her name was Sister Arcangela Terabati. In 1654, she published Paternal Tyranny, accusing the Church of imprisoning women and abusing them under religious authority. The book was banned. Owning it meant excommunication. Her letters, smuggled out and hidden in convent walls, described secret pregnancies, and what happened to the infants. For centuries, historians dismissed her words as metaphor. Then archaeology proved her right. In 2017, excavations at former convent sites uncovered hundreds of infant remains hidden in wells, walls, and sewage systems. Exactly as she described. Terabati died mysteriously at 43. Her manuscripts were burned. Her name erased. The system survived. It evolved. From medieval convents to Magdalene laundries, which operated openly until 1996. Over 30,000 women imprisoned. Unpaid labor. Beatings. Silence. The church paid settlements. But it never opened all the records. Never named perpetrators. Never fully confessed. Because this story isn't about the past. It's about what happens when power hides behind holiness, and no one is allowed to question it. Sacred does not mean safe. And history's darkest truths survive only if someone is brave enough to tell them.